channel, Budget for Success. Woo woo. Today is my favorite time of the week. It's Smart Money Tuesday. Woo! And I'm going to share some information with you. Listen, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Smart Money Tuesday is the time where I sit down and I share information that I've learned in my personal journey to financial freedom. And there are some videos that are already posted on my channel. Please look up YouTube Budget for Success and check out the Smart Money Tuesday videos. There's a lot of good information there, a lot of good content. And so I want you to catch up. So I want you to get that information because today we're going to talk about financial advisors. Yes, yes, yes. So many years I have been managing finances. I've had financial advisors here and there. At work, my job, when I worked for the government, we had someone that advised us on our retirement accounts and helped us, pick the right investment accounts that settled for us, that worked for us. And there were times when I kind of managed funds on my own. I put it in my high yield savings accounts. I've invested in CDs because CD rates were up for a while. And, I've done other stock investments. I've done well. And then some stocks I've had to, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. Some stocks I know I've held and I still holding. Others I folded. Some I ran. But anyway, I was at a place where I had some funds that were sitting in a high yield savings account for quite a while. And I said, you know what? I need to move these funds. I mean, yes, interest rates were, 5%, great. But they were starting to soften because, the Fed rates were changing. And so I said, you know what? I just need to get an advisor to help me with this. So we moved the money over into an investment advisor through our bank. Very fortunate to get the right personality. It's funny, I went in my bank and I asked to speak to someone. I was never so insulted in my life by an investment advisor. And you know what? There are some that are very condescending. There are some that, they have this air about them. And it's like, if you don't have enough funds for you to work with you, then, you're not, there. And you're not looking for that financial advisor. You're looking for someone that can relate to you at the level that you're at and at the amount of money that you have to invest. So we found the right person. We had to keep coming back. I didn't give up. It was funny because the first time I went in, I was incredibly insulted by this gentleman who said I needed a certain amount in order for him to even talk to me. And I gave him a spreadsheet that demonstrated that I had that amount. But he was, commenting, oh, nice purse. Oh, nice this. It was really a bad experience. So another day I was in the bank and a teller was like, hey, would you like to speak to one of our advisors? I go, well, I tried that. They act like I didn't have enough money. She was like, well, let me connect you with someone else. So I got someone else and it worked out. It was perfect. My husband met with him. They connected. It worked. And so I want to share with you the steps that I went through because this was not an overnight process. I had to kiss some frogs before we got to the prince, the person that, we wanted to work with, prince or princess, right? Because women are just as equally qualified in this area of field of business. But the particular person we found just happened to be a man. So why don't I share my screen with you and kind of share with you the journey that I went through. So here we are, Smart Money Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. Okay, so how do we find the right financial advisor? This is just my personal journey, okay? I am not a financial advisor, and so the information I'm sharing with you is simply my experience and the process that I went through. So first and foremost, we sought someone that the personality just worked for us. And you think, why does personality matter? You just want to know that they can take your funds and invest them. Well, I'm also a believer in energy. And so you have to have good energy with the person that you're working with, because the more good energy you have, the more you're connecting with them, you're going to get positive relationship. You're going to get good dialogue. You're going to be able to flex and move when you need to move with your investments. You're working together as a team, and that's important. You want to find someone who's patient. and someone that when you sit down and you share your goals, and however broad, big, or huge those goals are, they need to look at you, and they need to look at you in the face and go, I understand. I mean, you can sit down with them and start with 10,000 and say, I want to grow this to 1 million. And if they look at you and are condescending and disrespectful, they're not probably not the person for you, right? Because you want someone that's going to dream with you. And that someone that says, I'm going to get you as close to that as I can. I'm going to work with you. We're going to see where we get. You never know what tomorrow may hold, right? And if that person counts you out, then that's not someone that's going to really believe in your dreams, because you could launch a business idea in 6 months and become a millionaire, right? And so if that's the vision you have, you're going to find someone that can get involved and invested in your dream. When I sat down with my advisor and I said, hey, I'm retiring. I've got some ideas for what I want to do during my retirement, and I'm going to launch my business, etc. He believed in me and what I was going to do through my retirement, and how, I was going to start multiple businesses and write books and data, et cetera, et cetera. And so when we did our pro forma, he built those factors in. Now, did he build alternate factors? Yes. But he also built my dream portfolio because he was enrolled in my dream. So that's important, that you sit down with someone that really is on board and doesn't make you feel small because you're asking questions. Ask, 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 ask lots of questions. The next thing is you want to invest, you want to do an investment that aligns with your comfort level in investing. So we are aggressive investors, my husband and I. And so one of the financial advisors we met with a couple of years ago was telling us all the reasons why we should be conservative, especially with our retirement. And we were like, we're not there. Number one, we feel aggressive. We are aggressive. That's just how we are. But number two, we plan to continue to work, continue to generate income. My father is 82 years old and he still works, but he does what he loves. He gets up every day and says, my vocation is my vacation. Like, he enjoys what he does. And I'm following that same plan, that same path. I am always going to be generating income. And so I'm not looking to make a certain amount stretch, so many years. I want my money to grow, and I want to use it and spend it and have fun and vacation and do great things with it. And I want to continue to make more money. And so I'm looking for an investor who is very in line with what we are in line with, not someone that's going to try to persuade us to be a different way. So you want to find someone that when you sit down, if you're conservative and they're aggressive, they're not going to be the right ones for you either, because you want someone that's aligning with your comfort level. Education. We don't know it all. The whole reason you're hiring a financial advisor is because you want to learn. And so you want to find someone that's going to teach you and demystify very complex terms that are out there, such as what are mutual funds? What are REITs? What are ETFs? What are, how do stocks work? They, even if you don't decide to invest in any of these options, you still want to understand what they are, how they work, and how they could build wealth, and whether they're right for you or not. If you never even have a discussion about these with your investment advisor, they're doing you a disservice, because there's information that you don't want them to just go, just trust me. No, 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 no. I mean, I trust you, but I also want to be educated, and I want to be a follower that's educated follower. I don't want to be a follower that's ignorant. That's not my style. And so we found someone that would sit down with us and explain. Did we always agree with everything they explained? No. But still, that would take the time to explain and educate us. And each time that we sit down with them, we feel more and more confident about what we know and understand about our investment portfolio. So we actually prioritize finding someone that specializes in not just growing our wealth, but also retirement planning. So it depends on what you're looking for. If you have money that you just want to aggressively invest and grow, then you're going to want to find someone that may be, out there doing deals on the stock market exchange, and they're in the movies when they're going, so, maybe that's the right person for you. But if you're looking for retirement planning, there is a specialty in that area. So you want a financial advisor that has retirement planning. Not only that, they have the software so they can help do forecasts for you. I work for government for 20 plus years, and we always, always, always created 5 to 10 year forecasts for the city, because we had to make sure the city was viable in the next 20, 30 years. Well, it's the same for your retirement. Will they sit down and do a forecast for you? And will they not just tell you, no, you're not going to reach your goal and that's the end, but they're going to tell you exactly what you need to do to reach your goal. And so that you have, some inspiration, some motivation to get to your goal at hand and don't feel defeated. We have had financial advisors that sit down and tell us there's no way you'll reach your goal based on the numbers and this little formula they put in the software. It says you won't reach your goal. I don't want to hear that. I just want to hear well, in order to reach your goal, this is what needs to happen. See, you never know what will happen in the next 5 years, especially if you're listening to my videos and you're doing some of the things that I talked about as far as visualization and meditation and really just speaking positive. So 5 years from now, your financial circumstance could be completely different, and somebody's already counted you out. And so you want someone that is going to definitely support you in your vision and say, even if it's crazy, in order for you to reach the goal that you have, you really would need to put aside like $5,000 a month. You don't know how you would put aside $5,000 a month. So what? At least you know you have a goal. You have a dartboard and there's a mark on the board that you're trying to reach to. And anywhere you get around that bullseye, you're getting closer and closer to your goal. And so don't find the financial advisor that is going to diminish your retirement plan, but enhance your retirement plan. This is important. Some of you say, well, I already have a financial advisor and I'm quite happy with them. Great. But now here's your responsibility. Let's sit down and do a regular review of your financials. Companies have monthly financial statements prepared. They spend thousands, sometimes some companies, depending on how large they are, spend millions of dollars for people to tell them each month how they're doing. How did they do the prior month in comparison to how they did last year? So there is value in this review, because if companies are relying on these reviews and they're paying employees and salaries so that they can get these reviews, you must know there is value in it. So if you are not sitting down on a regular basis, what is regular? Regular is what works for you. For me, I told my financial advisor, I want to start out meeting monthly, and then we can switch to quarterly. And that's the furthest I would go. I would never do annually, but some people annually works because you're very busy. But I like to do quarterly because I may want to tweak it or shift it or move it, or I just may want to celebrate, right? Great, it was a great quarter. Also, I know that the economy is very volatile right now. And so sometimes you just need to sit down with them so they can tell you, prepare. The election is coming. The stock market always does XYZ during major elections. Be prepared, right? And so now you are braced for what could possibly happen. Not that you need to make a decision, but when it happens, you're not surprised. So you're going to also ask them about, are there any ways we can make improvements or changes? Or if you're still actively investing, find out what's a goal for how much you want to put in the next quarter or the next month as far as investments are concerned. I am a believer in not just giving them money and leave it alone and then, see what they do with it. I'm a believer in give them the money, give them more money, give them even more money, and monitor and watch and see how are my investments doing each month or each quarter. So that's my strategy. And so I'm just sharing with you things that I have done to really feel comfortable with my investment portfolio. The other thing to understand, this is interesting. So I actually sat for some of these tests many, many years ago and passed. So I have some knowledge, but you want to make sure your financial advisor has taken these tests, right? So there's the Series 7, Series 66, or Series 65. So if they don't pass these tests, then they're really not qualified to talk to you about stocks and investments and mutual funds, et cetera, et cetera. It's also a plus if they have the certified financial planner certification. It's up to you to decide what you're looking for in this different category of licensing and credentials. But for me, I went to our bank and I ensured that this person we were working with had the qualifications needed to be our advisor. Fee transparency. This is another one. You may have a financial advisor already. They shared with you their fees when you first opened the account, and then that was it. And you haven't asked about fees since. So I will tell you firsthand, I work as a trustee on the board of investments for a very large retirement agency, one of the largest in the entire country. And every year, annually, we made the staff prepare a fee analysis, like how much did we pay in fees this past year, and compare it to the previous years as well. So there was a fee comparison done. It is very important that you understand how much you paid out in fees. And when they're putting that information together for you, I found they're automatically going to come to you and tell you areas where they could help you save money in fees because you've asked for it. Now they have to put the information together. And once they start looking at it, they go, "Ooh, wow, they're paying quite a bit in fees here." And so I am encouraging you to ask your financial advisor for a fee statement, something that shows how much you paid in fees, not just this past year, but possibly the last 3 to 5 years, if possible. Now, they may not be able to produce it for you, but you could also tell them going forward, I am going to want this information on an annual basis. And so can you already be prepared to show me the fee analysis each year and how much I am paying in fees through my investments, through direct charges, through flat charges, through percentages, through when there's different types of shares you can purchase. You can purchase A shares, B shares, C shares. Whenever you do that, there's fees involved. And this is if you buy mutual funds. And so these are just questions that I pose to my financial advisor, so I'm educated and I know. It also helps you to understand, okay, I had a 10% return, 20% return, and I paid fees of 3%, not bad. But if you had a 5% return and you paid 3% in fees, you might want to question what's going on. Or maybe it was just a bad year for investments and that wasn't the case for the last 2 to 3 years, which is why I said to ask for a historical analysis, because that can help you gauge whether it's reasonable or not. Okay. So if you're going in fresh, just securing a financial advisor, ask what the fees are and let them know up front. I'd like to see a fee analysis every year so I just know how much I am paying in fees. And finally, because a financial advisor is such a personal thing, it really is. To me, it's just like finding the right doctor or the right CPA or the right attorney. So is finding the right financial advisor. So we talked with, over the past few years, I would say at least 5 different professionals, just so that we can make an informed choice. So we might have talked to the perfect person the first time, but we went and talked to other people so we could do a comparison. And we could learn each time we went to someone different, we learned something different. And each time, we found something we didn't like, that helped us also because then we knew how to eliminate folks because, we were aware that this wasn't anything that, we were comfortable with. And so please be just as diligent as you are as far as finding the right purse, the right shoes, the right wallet, the right house, the right car, find the right financial advisor and make sure that that person fits for you. And remember, put out those good vibes. If you put out good vibes, you will be surprised how you will attract the right person for you. So I'll share a story with you. I've already shared it in a small short, but anyway, I want to repeat my story because it was very relevant to me creating this topic. So again, I had been investing in a high yield savings account for a good sum of money because the interest rate was up to 5%. And some of the stocks that I had, they were doing such a doozy and a tizzy. I just sold the stocks and then moved it over into the high yield savings. And at some point I said, you know what, I need to give it to the financial advisor. And so we just moved all the money. It took some time to get all the money together and move it over to them. We had to contact the other companies. Hey, move this money. In some cases, I had to sell some stocks to move it, et cetera. But after I moved all the money, the first month of return was like 30%. Now, is that going to be the same rate of return every single month? Nope. Nope, it's not. And I know that. But the thing that I also know was when the money was in the high yield savings account, it was never going to be more than 5% because that was the rate the bank was giving. Also, I also knew because the feds were making some changes that that rate was likely going to come down in the near future, and they already did, right? That was also the thing that pushed me, right? Because the bank had informed us that the rate was going down. So with that being the case, I am so glad that I made the shift because in 1 month, all the fees that I paid, I made up for, right? Any of the fees that it cost to move the money over, et cetera, I made back in the interest income. And so now I get to sit down with the advisor. I don't have to watch it every month like a hawk. I can sit down with the advisor every month and have them do the portfolio analysis for me and show me what went well and what didn't. So I'm just saying to you, yes, those high yield savings accounts are great. And I still have my high yield savings account, and I think it's down to like 4% or something like that. And I do have a smaller amount of money there than I used to carry in there because now I moved the bulk of my money over into the financial advisor. So there's a place for high yield savings accounts, there's a place for CDs, but there's also a place for investment portfolios. If you're just starting out and you say, Onyx, I only have $1,000. Well, there are some investments that you can do with $1,000, but you need to ask when you go in the bank and you want to talk to someone, because that's where I would start with your bank, just say, I'm thinking about moving money over. They don't know where the money's coming from. They don't know how much it is. And I haven't decided how much, but I just wanted to talk to you. What would it require? What's the minimum amount you have to have? And let them at least just give you some answers and insight. You may not have the money, but you can still ask the questions. You are still worthy of their time to get the information because one day when you do have the money, you'll know what decisions to make. All right. I want you guys to succeed. I want you to prosper. I want you to flourish. So if you like this video and you want more good information coming back, please like, comment, and subscribe. Set the notification bell so you can be notified for Smart Money Tuesday and you can come back and visit. So like, comment, and subscribe to Budget for Success. Bye for now. Love you guys.